All right, so I did some more of my workout, right, but didn't put it on camera. But let's talk about copyright infringement and how you can change even one note, right, of a popular song, and it's still fair use, right? Now, like with Vanilla Ice, right, and Pressure, right. His song "Ice Ice Baby" has a similar beat to Pressure, right? Dun 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 bam bam. Well, if I add a longer note, right, to the last two notes, right? Say I make it from dun 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 bump bump. Now, for one, it's a piano, right? If I go dun 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 dun, I'm changing something at the end, right? When I do that, I'm using similar notes because that's not impossible, right? But then I'm changing the last two. If I make it longer, shorter, quicker, right? If I change it from a whole note to a half note to a quarter note to an 18th or whatever, right? You know me, right? Or an eighth or whatever they go to, 16th, right? Even that's changing it, right? And all I got to change is one note, right? Don't forget that too, right? Reason being, right, is anything can be coincidental in music because we have the same note structures, right? The same length of notes, right? And the same sentence structure, right? What? Any artist, right, is taking from their personal experience, right? Which is a little different, right? Nicki and Cardi B are both hood girls, right? Right. But their music kind of sounds similar too, right? Because they're both hood girls, right? They're from the hood, right? And that's what you're gonna hear, some hood in there, right? It's like, Ice Cube or Ice T, right? Right. Ice T, I think, is from New York. Ice Cube is from Cali, right? So that's West Coast, East Coast, right? So you're going to hear similarities, but also differences in what they talk about, right? Even when they diss each other, they're going to use different disses, right? Yeah. Now, I've heard it all, but I don't really listen to everything. I don't listen to opera a lot, or I don't listen to classical a lot. But I don't mind it, you know what I mean? Either, right? But, dun 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 dun, even that. Dun 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 dun. See, I just changed it, right? But you still, does it sound good? Yeah. It doesn't sound that bad, right? But I just changed the song with two notes. Dun dun. And it's also played with instruments. I'm vocalizing it, right? All that changes how it was written and performed, right? When I do that, right, with vocals versus, right, if I put words to it and they are good, they could be any part of the song as long as I don't sing it wrong, right? See? Right. But there's no words to the song, but I can still sing the melody. Right. Exactly. That's what Jimmy Fallon was doing on SNL, right? When he first came out. He was singing the melody, but changing the song lyrics, right? And I can do that too, right? Of course. That's cool. I mean, I didn't have the opportunity Jimmy had, and I can't be jealous of Jimmy either, right? I wish him what? Well, right? Bid him Godspeed if he's not doing nothing wrong, right? And he's not, right? I guess. I don't know. Even if he messes with me a little bit, he hears me, right? He knows I'm a rival then. Why? But he can deny it too, right? That's the problem too, right? I'm a nobody, right? So, nobody knows me, right? I guess. Maybe some execs at the Ryan and Kelly show now. Now do you know which guy she met from Georgia who's associated with American Idol producers? And whoever is involved with the casting? Don't let it freak you out. A lot of people are from Georgia. And some are associated with American Idol. Get over it. Get over it. But I'm more of a comedic at home who can't, even if I was to audition because of my age, get on the show, right? That's all, folks, right? It is too, right? They have a set age. Now, the voice is kind of different, but it's still the same genre, right? It's about popularity, right? Now, if I can sing like Pat Benatar or differently, right? If I can impersonate men and women, that has nothing to do if that's not what they're looking for, right? Right? It don't even matter what I can do, right? It matters what they're looking for, right? And sometimes, you notice they don't give you numbers, right? That's odd, right? If I win a contest, how much did I win by? I want to know that. I'm a normal person, right? If I won, how much did I win by? Was it a majority or a minority? Did I win with a landslide or just barely won, right? See, all that matters in the competition too, right? Even though we got superiors every time we went to choir, right? Competition, right? Which was big in Georgia in the 80s, right? And I was part of that scene, right? But still, you don't know me, you don't know Shane. I'm more of a choir singer that I can put my voice with anybody, right? Right. I can sound like anybody. I can impersonate anybody, right? Male or female. Because, see, that's what our choir teacher taught us to do, right? Mr. Mullis, right? He taught us to blend our voices real well and sound as one, right? That's called unison, right? Right. Now, harmony is the different parts in any piece, right? You got the sopranos, the baritone, right? And each one can have a different part, right? There are times in any piece where you sing the same notes even, right? But you still got to blend it, right, into one sound, right? You got the sopranos singing, the altos singing, the baritones, and the bass, right? Those are the four basic, things of music in choir, right? Now, then you can get into the countertenors or the mills. You can sing high, or the tenors, right? Or, I can do the full range, though, from low to high, right? And all the way up the... That's kind of operatic, but still. For a dude, that's not too bad, right? But see, I gotta make an impact, right? If I've been doing kind of decent impersonations or keeping the melody, right? Even if I'm a little off on purpose, I have to be. You have to be. It's not a choice sometimes, right? It's a performance, right? If you can control your voice to where you sound close to it, but you're a little off, oh baby, you ain't even got to sound good to become popular, right? No. God will I need. But you say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend. And I can do that with Jimmy Fallon too, right? I mean, whatever he does, I can do, right? I just, hold back, right? I got to, right? Though I don't, when you're competing, right, in the same genre, right, and you're a comedian, right, and you look similar, right? I look like a few guys in the comedian world, right, including John Candy, a little, right? Right. And Louis Anderson. But I'm not as big. Right? So you're trying to act like I'm King Kong with a very big ding dong, huh? Right? Ever heard of that one? That's on SNL too. That's on SNL too. I see that episode, Lauren. When you put something through the window. And she was stroking it. Was that Molly Shannon or something? One of them. One of the girls was stroking it. Something like that. Right. It just looked like a log or something. She was trying to get out the window or something. I know, if you remember that skit. Still back in the 80s, but I thought that was kind of funny, but I was a kid. I'm at that age where we're doing that now. Unless you're getting some, but see, sex and love, though, are a game, right, in high school, right? See, you're told to wait for marriage, but you also know you don't have to. And you usually don't. You usually don't. But if you don't remember nothing, right, at all until you're 21 and in the Navy and meet a girl at Shay's party, right? And then Shay and his friend go off with your girlfriend to leave you home with his girlfriend, right? That seems like a little, funny fun time, right? And, we're left alone, right? There could be, doing the threesome. We don't know. But they might not be, right? Right? You just hope not, right? Right. But if we're both faithful, right, to our new friends, right, we're just talking about, things, right? We're not doing nothing, right? That's not a crime. No. That's not a sin, right? Unless we did something and she got back and blacked me out, right? That's interfering, right? That's interfering. You went off on my new girlfriend and you and the other dude, right? And me and her just had sex, and I told her that too, Jay's girlfriend, right? And she was kind of promiscuous, like, right? I don't know. But it's up to you, but, she was kind of quick. And I had to do other things with her, right? Like go down on her or stuff like that, right? I might have told her all that, right? I can do some things with you, but if you want to stop, we can stop at any time, right? And then you position it to where she's on top. And she might not want to stop. Once it starts, once you pop, you can't stop. Heard that commercial before. That's just a rhyme too, right? Pop, stop, right? Right. And if you know what you're doing, right, and she likes it, right, and you start sucking her boobs on, right, demonstrating on her, and she lets you, right, next thing you know, you could be having sex, right? And then you don't remember because Shay got back while we were doing it for a while. I probably done came in there, right? And I was just letting her go at it, right? And I'm in my 20s still, so I can probably hang, right? And again, we just having fun, right? They get back finally and catch us, but then we got caught, I guess, right? And then Jay got mad and knocked me out, and then I went to sleep or something, right? Whatever, maybe, right? See, it's a hypothetical, right? I don't remember all that happening. See, that part I'm making up, right? See, when I'll say I'm making something up and there's no evidence, there's a reason I'm making it up, because of accusations like in the Inquisition or the Salem witch trials or things like that that aren't really true, right? You're trying to make me a certain character, which I'm not, right? Like a bad character. But I am around bad people growing up. We all are. Even Lot was in Sodom, right? According to Peter, right? But still. Choice is, like I said about the pastor, does he have the right to jerk off with other members of his church, right? And that not seem to make his good evil spoken of, right? In other words, if you were to tell people that you were doing that and you're a pastor, would that look good for your church? No. It's not even good for the Catholics, right? And they're diddling boys, but that's still the point, right? When do you cut it off when they become mean? That's still right? No. You can't do it with me and either, right? That's weird, right? That's not right. That's wrong, right? That's what people will say about it too, right? Why are you doing that with your own people, right? Yeah, exactly, right. That's what I mean. Well, see, I gotta get people listening to understand. See, can he do that and get away with it too? Yes, if they look and don't tell on him, right. But if they were to be honest about it, even they would know it's something you don't normally do with your pastor, right? Right. Too, right. So they're going to lie about it more than they're going to do it, right? Too, right. They're going to feel bad about it. That's where it becomes a sin, right? You're condemning the act, but doing the act at the same time. It's hypocrisy, right? Then you're telling people they can't be gay, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, right? It becomes hypocrisy then. But if you forgive it, right, here's the point I'm making too. I forgave it, right? I didn't do it with them. I said, okay, I see what you're doing. No thanks. You can do it if you want to do it. It's not my bag of tea, right? Get it? I didn't condemn him either. So I just didn't do it. I wouldn't do it, right? I would say no, right? Politely, not in a rude way, right? And explain why. I was just taught not to do that. Don't feel like doing that. And if you want to do that, that's between you and God, right? I'm not to judge you, right? Exactly. Not even gay people who are together, right? That's the difference, Billy. That's what Jesus was doing, not what you're doing. You're doing what Moses taught you to do, condemning them, right? Moses is warning you about the law, though, too. Get what he's saying. If you follow the law, you got to keep the whole law. You can't break one portion of it, or you're a sinner, right? That's why Paul says it's done to do good. They're not one. Ye let every man be true and God a liar, right? Uh-oh, I said that backwards, didn't I? Ye let God be true and every man a liar, right? See, the first thing we got to admit as men is we're being lied to and lied with and lied on, right? And we're lying with them not knowing what we're doing wrong, right? So if you admit that and say, I'm not good, none of us are good, no, not one, you're admitting that, right? That becomes a confession, right? Confession can be forgiven. Condemning yourself and not admitting it can't be forgiven, ever. And you die and you go to hell. Mm-hmm. But if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you your sins and forgive you. Cleanse you from all unrighteousness. You also can't say you don't sin, right? When you know you are. That's the point, right? But if you're doing something and you don't condemn yourself in that thing which you allow, say you're eating meat or having sex with the same sex, right? That applies too, right? If you love each other, right? They can't tell you how you feel. They can't tell you you're right or wrong, right? No one can. No. If you feel the Lord's on your side, the Lord's on your side, right? He's never not, right? It's Satan who ain't on our side and trying to make us feel bad about every decision we make, right or wrong sometimes, right? See, if I go out and I drive my car down the road, I'm not doing nothing wrong, right? But if someone else does something wrong, we get into a wreck, right? Then it comes down to whose fault was it? What was the other person doing, right? Or they doing something a little wrong themselves, right? Now, if you drive past me, like I said, and we're both in the parking lot and there's nowhere else to park but where I'm at, what are you doing, right? Trying to park my seat. After I back out. And why does it look like the car wouldn't hit it at all, but has a little ding here and there, right? Which the ding don't prove I hit you or you hit me. You have one on your car, right? See, proof, right, and reasonable doubt are two different things, right? Now, even in a civil trial, right, they wouldn't let me enter into evidence my ankle, even though I said that's why I wrecked the car, right? Can they do that legally? No. No. But the judge let the lawyer do it, right? Who's gonna get in trouble? That the judge, right? She didn't have a right to let the X-rays be seen by the court, right? That's what the whole suit was about, right? That I got a bad ankle and I couldn't drive a stick. Well, that would have proven that they would have to pay, right? Exactly. And you're not Judge Judy, right? Though I'm Judge Judy in them, yeah, I'm doing the civil trial, right? But civil is easier to prove than criminal, right? In criminal, you gotta raise reasonable doubt, right? But not a civil trial. Even if I'm on medication, if I seem coherent during the trial and I'm on the same medications, it's not the problem. Right now, it's not. Either. That's just trying to raise reasonable doubt for a civil trial, which don't exist, right? For a civil trial, right? If it was a criminal trial, that's different, right? You can raise that point. Well, you might have been on some medication as a wolf, right? You don't know that, though, right? See, that's one of the possible side effects that you can get a little drowsy. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was I was coming up to the red light and the car didn't stop in time, right? And I'm driving a stick and a 6-speed, which I never drove before, right? So that's different too, right? Now, legally, I'm bald. I was screwed out my settlement, right? I should have gotten something but got nothing, right, instead, right? So I gotta accept that, or somehow one day refile or something. That's all I can do, right? I've done what I can do legally, right? Unless I can refile on the same case, but I don't know if I can do that either, right? Sometimes they act like you only get one shot at something, right? So I don't know. But can I use a technicality and sue Judge Ankia, right? I don't know, right? Both of them messed up, right? Both of them didn't do what they were supposed to do in a civil trial, right? And Kia could have lied that the guy didn't even remember me, which is what he acted like, right? And like I said, I kind of stick out like a sore thumb when I come walking in with a cane from taking the bus to get there. You're lying. Under oath, right? That's, again, a felony. That's a felony. I know that. And I don't just go out there to buy the car. I gotta get maintenance. I go, and again, though, when the trial came up, it was 2 years later, right, when I filed, right? So, like I said, right? But at the same time, right, I can get confused, too, in that amount of time about the dude's name, even, right? I can come up with the wrong name, right? But that don't mean, right, they were doing right either, right? And if they got off, it's because the judge favored their side, their story, right? That's called bias. That's a biased judgment, right? See, if I get to sue them, and this is where the civil part comes in, anyone who's disabled can sue them then, right? And they put them in a car they can't drive, right? But you're supposed to civilly go after that if it happens to you too. You have a right, right? I am disabled. I did disclose that to them, right? So they're lying if they don't know I'm with the VA at 100% disabled, right? Even for the mental or the physical, I tell them the ratings for both, right? So if I got a rating on it, right, and you put me in a car and you know there could be something that goes wrong, right, that's your civil responsibility, not just to me, but to those who drive around me, to make sure I don't wreck into them either, like I did the vehicle I wrecked into, right? And that's your responsibility too, right? Not just mine. You also got to make sure I got insurance, right? Or that can cancel the whole contract, right? But there again, I was ready with the insurance, right, to cover the wreck, right? But at the same time, though, it's over now, right? And I don't know what else I can do about it, right? I don't have no help, right? I don't know who to talk to about it. I've mentioned it on YouTube, so it's out in the open, right? I give out my phone number once in a while, 912-996-0769, right? And that's the point, right? But you gotta go to the video, you gotta listen to the video, and you gotta get to the part where I disclose the phone number, right? Unless I put it in the title. You know what I mean? Right. And why would I do that? I'm trying to put out information about God, right? I'm also trying to become a church, right? Even if I'm a party of one. You know what I mean? Even if you're believing what you believe is right? Now, the thing is, though, if your similarities are wrong, they're still wrong, Christians. If Jesus ain't a man and you're telling people he is a man, you're lying. God ain't a man. The male and female are one in Christ Jesus. They're not one in us as they're one in him, right? Even if that means he's 24 chromosomes, right? And we're 46, right? I know. He's not male or female. He's not male or female. If that's what the shroud said, but whose blood is it on it, right? There is blood on it, right? Someone's blood was found on it, but they too aren't male or female, right? Uh-oh. Didn't know that, did you, right? Unless it's really Jesus' blood all the way back to 2,000 years ago, right? Huh. He's still not male or female. He's still not male or female. As we are male and female, right? That's what it means. But he's still male and female. He's still male and female. He might even look physically different, right? If he's lacking 23 chromosomes or 22 chromosomes, right? And only has a Y chromosome, which is very odd, right? I know. Well, that ain't normal either, right? So he's still not a man, right? He's still not male or female, right? He don't have the full 22 chromosomes, right? Another male would have, right? So that's still technically neither male nor female as we are male and female, right? So he's still not a man as we are, right? Yeah. Legally. He's a different type of man. He's a different type of man, right? So was Adam before the fall. Now, what if the other chromosomes came from Satan? We don't know. See, another thing about the story is it does open up the door that we became as one of them to know good and evil. Who is that? God says, let us create man in our image. And it talks about the sons of God, children of God, actually. It could be children or sons, right? Being with the daughters of men, right? In Genesis 6. That's only a few thousand years between the fall and the flood, right? That could also be when technology increased, right? For the first time, right? Daniel said it would increase again in the latter days, right? We got maybe 4,000 more years, right? To be honest, 10 days is 4,000 years, right? 6 days have done passed, right? Do the math, if you believe it or not, right? It is a general reference. What if the day's longer than 1,000 years? And that's what Moses thought it was. And just thought Adam lived 930 years. Maybe he was longer than that, right? The Syrian kings were rumored to live 8,000 years or more, right? That's 8 times the amount of time, right? But did Moses know that when he wrote that, right? Maybe not. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know what he knew. You don't know all he knew, right? As the man Moses knew things, right? All you know is what he told the Jewish people to do. And that makes him a lawgiver, like Hammurabi or whoever, right? All he is a ruler. He gave you a bunch of rules to follow, and if you follow them, he says you're good, and if you don't, he says you're cursed, right? Well, he's blessing and cursing his own people for not following the rules, right? And nobody, and I mean nobody, is perfect in that. Okay, get the point.